Hi friends, welcome back to my channel, White Girl Fresh. We are gonna be talking about brows. Prepping your I am gonna be talking about prepping your brows, what I do in order to get them camera ready, which is, you can see it's all fresh face. This is all what my mama gave me right here and nothing artificial. Talk about how we're gonna prep our brows and my favorite brow products. I've got some new ones and some oldies and some stuff I kind of use sporadically for different purposes. So I'm going to put on some moisturizer and some foundation, maybe a little contour to carve out my cheeks so that I don't look quite so fresh. I'd like to look white girl fresh and not just shower fresh. So I'm gonna do that off camera and I'll be right back. So now my face is done. Sometimes I go back and forth. Sometimes I do my brows first before anything else, and sometimes I do it in the middle, and sometimes I do it at the end. Because if you do it at the very end, you don't have to navigate the space, the real estate around your eyebrows whatsoever. You can get foundation in it, you can get setting powder in it, you can get concealer, you can get whatever you want in there. And then at the very end, do your brows. I just know that sometimes I do them at the beginning when I'm short for time and I know that that's absolutely something I need to get done. Otherwise, I'm just like, okay, well, whenever you want to do it, it's totally cool. There are benefits to doing at the beginning, like, i.e., if that takes a lot of time, that's at least done. In the middle, it's sort of like, yeah, it's probably my least likely time to do it. But then at the end, you have everything else done, and polishing that off and the perfecting of how you want your eyebrows to look takes me a long time. I've been doing it for a while and it still takes me a long time. And I see other people talk about the fact that it still takes them a long time, and I'm like, oh, thank goodness, because sometimes I'm just like, why does this still take me this long? It's one of those things that it shouldn't take long if you're been doing it for a while and think you're pretty okay at it. But yeah, no, it still takes a while. I am to prep my lashes. I'm gonna take a spoolie. This, I don't even know who this one is by. This is just one that I have lying around. And I like to comb through my brows. You can see I like to do them like kind of a little bit upward to see where the gaps are. I have like little gaps here, a little gap up here. Pretty lucky to have some pretty fluffy brows. If I look back at pictures in high school and college, there was no taming those beasts. They were all over the place, all over my face. I remember the first time somebody plucked my eyebrows, I was like, this hurts. Why do people do this? And of course, after you do it a couple times, it doesn't really hurt anymore, so it's fine. I'm gonna zoom you in. It's really nice and close. Okay, so I like to take the spoolie, brush things up, and then I will hold it and then do a little trimmeroo with some fine point scissors. All right, next up, gotta pluck the brows. And this is gonna be really helpful because I can see them all on camera. Sweet. Resist the urge to overpluck. I know that there's like an invisible line that you see on your eyes where you're like, my eyebrows should not go beyond that. But it's really easy to like start hacking away at your brows and not notice that that line is gradually receding back and back and back. So I'm gonna do my brows off camera and then come back and talk about my favorite products as well as some new products that I'm trying that I'm excited about. So I will be back in a flash. Okay, so we are done with the brows, and today I used a oldie but a goodie and a new product. This is actually what's in my brows today, is the Benefit Brow. This is, everybody knows about this, but it's worth mentioning that it's still good. I use it in the shade 4. This is what I started with, and it's very much like the Anastasia pomade. It's got a little container in there, and you just screw this off and it's in there. Also, fun fact, it has a brush that comes with it. Put that right in there. This product is really awesome in the sense that it has a little bit thicker consistency than the Anastasia Dipbrow. and it stays just a little bit better, but it definitely feels like you have a little bit more awareness that you have something on your eyebrows. The Anastasia is like your brows, but better. This is more like your brows come to be the boss. Brow Boss product. Brow products from Anastasia, which is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dipbrow Pomade in shade medium brown. It's really pretty. It's almost like a perfect match for me, but I kind of go back and forth between dark brown and medium brown. You can see there the consistency of it. It looks like just kind of like putty, and you just scrape it along with the brush and apply it with like flicker-like strokes like this, and you just fill in as much as you want. So you can make it look like their hair strokes with this brush. However, I really like my brows I like my brows filled in. I like to have a full brow. The great thing about the pomade is that it doesn't move. You put it down and it becomes tacky, and it's just like locked and loaded. Like your brows are not going anywhere, because I have a habit of scratching my eyebrows throughout the day, and some other products that are my faves, when you scratch them, it'll come off. If you scratch this, it's not coming off. So that's awesome. So again, the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dipbrow Pomade is awesome. I've had this for a good amount of time. You can see I've used it, but there's still plenty left in it. This product has 0.14 ounces. I have no idea if that's a lot or a little in the grand scheme of things, but I can say that I have never run out of this. I haven't had to replace it once, but in the event that I do run out, I absolutely will replace it because it's great. Moving on to my next category of brow products that I love are the fine tip brow products. And by these, I mean the brow pencils. And what people used to think of brow pencils being is like a literal eyebrow pigment that you would shave down like with a pencil sharpener. It's not like that anymore. So there are many products in this family of brow pencils that do a fantastic job, and these are my three favorites. So we have NYX, we have ColourPop, and we have the Maybelline. I love all of these. They are all very good. They all come in a variety of colors. And these are all drugstore, which is great because the other brow pomades I use, they're all high-end makeup. So this stuff you can get at Ulta or Target or Walgreens or CVS, which I love because honestly, I go through these like... So they all three have these twist tops. So you can see they're all really finely tipped. They all screw, they all twist. They all twist up and down so that the product comes out at the top, and they pretty much all have spoolies on these sides. So you don't need anything extra. I think my favorite is probably the Maybelline one. It goes on a little bit smoother. This is the Maybelline Brow Ultra Slim. I've used it on other videos, and it is just really, really great. I like how easily the product goes on really easily, really smoothly, and feels kind of creamy when you put it on. So when you put it on, it's not tacky. It's really smooth and it's really easy. The one thing you have to be aware about with all these brow pencils is that if you do have a scratch in your eyebrow and you scratch it, it is going to remove some of the pigment, not completely, but same thing for NYX. NYX is a little bit tackier when you put it on than the Maybelline one, but very similar consistency, and it's just really easy. And because they're so precise and they're so small, you can put as little or as much as you want. And because we all know I'm high maintenance and have brows that are just like, all right, let's fill those puppies in, I go through these kind of fast. So that's why I have tried different ones and like to buy different kinds and make sure that I always have some. But if I had a go-to that I always went to, it would be the Maybelline one, because Maybelline's the best, but their brow pencil is fantastic. The last one is the most recent one that I have been trying, and this one is from ColourPop. It's their ColourPop Brow Boss. Has a little bit of a grayish undertone that I'm less of a fan of, but then once I put it on, it has a subtlety to it that the other brow pencils don't really have. So that's one thing about the ColourPop one that I kind of like. If you want something that's a little bit more subtle, a little bit more natural looking, the ColourPop one is great. You honestly can't go wrong with any of these. The only challenge with them is because they come wrapped up in plastic, you can't test your shade. But I will say that they do have a variety of colors, so you should be able to find your shade range. So I would encourage you to look and try different colors. Sometimes I mix and match colors if they're a little bit more auburn, a little bit more black, a little bit more gray, depending on what kind of color spectrum you want your brows to have. These brow pencils, you can't go wrong. They're at a great price. I think they're all between $5.99 and $7.99, depending on where you got them. And ColourPop, I believe they only sell at Ulta, but Maybelline and NYX you can buy just about any drugstore. In talking about tools and products that I love when it comes to doing eyebrows, there are a lot of things that you can have, and I probably have more than a regular makeup user might have. Maybe I don't. I don't know. Maybe that's an erroneous assumption on my part. I don't know. However, there's some stuff that I switch out day to day in terms of prepping and applying brow products. You really need to have a spoolie, and I have a spoolie that's from, and an applicator, which is from Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is in the number 12. It is like the exact perfect size of what you need when you're applying it. Okay, so new product alert. Recently I went to the store and I've been hearing lots of feedback about brow products that are gels that have color in them, which I've sort of been hesitant to try because if you're painting on a brow gel with pigment in it, I tested it out last night and it can go awry very easily. But I've tried this out a couple of times. This is Anastasia Beverly Hills dark brown Dipbrow gel. And so this Dipbrow gel, so it's in a slightly darker color than the pomade that I have. You pull it out, it has a little spoolie that's a triangle shape, or no, I'm sorry, not a triangle shape. It is, it's angled at the top, so it's fatter at the base and narrower at the top. And so you just, you know, kind of paint it through your brows to help them stay in place. But the cool part is that it has pigment in it. So if you put something on your brows and it hasn't covered everything up and you like a lot of coverage, like your girl, then you just go back through with this and it adds some color, adds some fluffiness, and locks your hairs basically in place. And I have to say that these brow gels are really cool because they're basically like glue, but without feeling like your hair is glued down. It basically just coats your hair and keeps them in place, which is really nice because if you have a lot of fill-in in your brows like I do and your hair gets out of place, then it becomes like, ooh, there's some lines on your face and that's not where your hair is going, and then it can kind of wreck the work that you've done on your brows. And I'll be the first to admit that I have these hairs on the side that like to go like whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. I don't know why they do it, but they do. They just go whoosh, whoosh. So this stuff really helps with that. Another product that's a clear brow gel that does the same thing but without any pigment is the Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter. This is a really great product that I've used a bunch. I won't lie, I don't use it every day when I'm going to work, but anytime that I am not in a hurry, I use this stuff if I don't want to use the brow gel. If I think I filled in my brows enough and I don't need any extra pigment, I can use this. It's like a thin, flat spoolie, and it's got little bristles on the side. And I just like to put a coat in my lashes and then sort of comb them through with this with the bristle end. I will say that this one is a bit crunchier, shall we say, than other products I've used. Namely, the Anastasia is not crunchy at all. This one is crunchy. So if you want your brows locked down, like you're like, nothing, I'm walking through hurricane force wind and these puppies ain't moving, this is it. This is your friend. I love having my eyebrows done, and I feel like when I leave the house, that is one of the top 3 things that I really like to have done. If I'm being completely honest, it's brows, lashes, and lipstick. Those are my like must 3, leave the house with those on, ride or dies. I feel like when I have those things on, I feel like my face is ready. Bring it on. That is all for brow products. So just a review, we've got the pomades, we've got our Anastasia, we've got our Benefit, and these are great. You cannot go wrong, and they're both glass too, so they have weight to them that feels really nice. They are just awesome. And then for brow gels, we have the Anastasia Brow Gel and the Benefit 24-hour Brow Setter. These things are great. If you want to try a brow gel, or if you have wild and crazy hair in your brows, these things will help them stay in place. This one will help add color and it to stay in place. This one will just lock your stuff down. If you take anything away from this video, you just think Benefit Brow Gel, lock it down. And then for the brow pencil category, we have the NYX Micro Brow Pencil, the Maybelline Brow Ultra Slim, and the ColourPop Brow Boss. So I hope you have enjoyed this brow prep and do tutorial, and I would so appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be putting out videos now more regularly because I have a big fancy new camera, which you can't see because it's filming this video. However, I'm super excited to put out some more videos, and I hope you enjoyed this information on brow products, and I will see you next time.